I have to date someone that is on the same page as me because I can't disagree with someone.
So it's no secret that dating nowadays is a bit of a mess for both guys and girls, each for their own different reasons. And today we're going to be taking a look at a video posted by this woman where she discusses why her last relationship failed. It also goes into a little bit more detail on why she's currently single and can't seem to find a guy. Honestly, I'm pretty curious to hear these reasons. Maybe there's something everyone can learn from this, maybe some lessons. I don't know. Let's check this out.
Story time on how politics ruined my last relationship. So let me set the scene for you. I was dating this guy. We'd been dating for 5 months. And in those 5 months, I was told by my friends, Zoe, he lives in Indiana. He's a Republican. I was like, politics don't matter to me. What was I wrong? And so I was like, it's fine. I don't care. I'm going to get to know him first. We'll decide later. So then we kind of start talking about it. I'm a very liberal woman, so I am obviously, like, very much, everyone knows that I'm a liberal woman. My brother's gay, all my friends are gay, also, like, abortion rights, female rights, but anyways, so I would, like, always ask him, I'd be like, what's your politics? Like, where do you lean? And he was just like, well, like, socially, I'm a liberal, but economically, I'm a Republican. That, okay. Also, he was a 28-year-old man. That's the first red flag, because if there's a 28-year-old man and he's single, there's a fucking reason that he's single.
I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. I mean, aren't you also single? Wouldn't that mean that you're also a red flag? Like, I don't know. If that's weirdly such a big red flag to you, maybe you shouldn't be dating that person in the first place. Also, speaking of red flags, and I said this in one of my recent videos, I would say that anyone who makes these types of videos yapping away about private relationship details while they're on the floor for social media is a pretty big red flag right there. Like, she's over here swearing, on her floor, yapping away and talking shit about her previous relationship. Like, that's not exactly the most attractive kind of behavior, not gonna lie.
But anyways, so then I'm like, well, like, what makes you, economically Republican? Because, like, I could give you a whole bunch of fucking facts right now that prove that you shouldn't be. And he was like, blah, 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 blah. All of his info is from his friends. And I was like, you get all your information from your fucking redneck friends. Obviously, you can't trust them. You need to do the research yourself. And if you do the research, I told him, I was like, I'll support you based on your decision if you actually research it yourself. Like, I won't care if you're a Republican. But anyways, and so he was like, Zoe, I have much better things to do than research politics. Like, I have way more important things to do. Ah! Okay, saying that to me is absolutely insane, but go off, King.
But hold up now, I thought you didn't care about politics. She literally starts off the video by saying that
politics don't matter to me.
You don't care about politics, apparently, but now here you are losing your shit because this guy doesn't align politically with you. It doesn't even sound like he's the most political person out there at all. Kind of similar to me. I mean, I'm not completely ignorant. I have my stances. I know what's going on, but for the most part, I'm generally not a very political person at all. I don't think about it. I mean, I barely research it, and it sounds like this guy was very similar, and yet she sounds completely judgmental and unhinged about that fact. I mean, I can't imagine why this relationship didn't work out. If you care so much about your politics, where it's such a big part of your personality and being, maybe you should be with someone similar, or you could learn to live and accept the differences of who you're with, since you're simply just not always going to agree 100% on everything.
I also just didn't care at that point. And so I kind of put it on the back burner. I was like, I can't fucking take this right now. Well, then we get into a little spat a couple days before election day, and we almost broke up. And so I was like, nah, it's fine, I'll give him one more chance, blah, 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 blah. Well, then election day rolls around, and, well, actually, before this, he was not registered to vote. He had never voted before, and he told me that he wanted to vote in this election, and I was like, okay, cool, do the research, but that's a whole other thing. And so the voter registration deadline was approaching. I could tell he was going to vote against me, let's just say it like that. And so I was like, he is not going to make an educated decision on who he votes for, so guess what? I'm not going to remind him of this voter registration deadline. So then it passed. He didn't register to vote, so there we go. It was saved. He wasn't going to vote. I wouldn't have to deal with it then. But then we got into that little spat, and I was like, let me try one more time. Let me see if he's learned anything from me. And I asked him, point blank on election day, I'm like, so who would you have voted for if you would have voted in this election? He was like, I would have voted independent. And I was like, Do you know that how harmful and basically wasteful that is? And also, like, check your privilege by saying you're going to vote independently.
My God, for someone who doesn't care about politics, it does seem to be the huge deciding factor and ruler of this relationship here. And it doesn't even sound like that guy was the complete opposite of this girl's views or anything. He was going to vote independent. But that's the thing, simply disagreeing with her is enough to automatically make him an enemy in her eyes. Like, it sounds like she's looking for some guy to mindlessly agree 100% with her on every single thing, kind of like an echo chamber in a sense. And when you don't, that guy is automatically seen as an enemy. Like, imagine that. Imagine being in a relationship with someone who completely antagonizes you for having a different view and disagreeing. That sounds fucking insufferable. And I'm not gonna lie, just listening to this person speak is enough to make me want to jump off a cliff. In Minecraft, of course.
Basically wasteful that is. And also, like, check your privilege by saying you're going to vote independently. And he was like, wow, Zoe, I cannot believe that you think my vote would have been a waste. Shut the up, because it is a waste. Look at Philadelphia. All those independent voters could have put us over the edge and could have helped Kamala win. That's another story. And so I was like trying to tell him, I was like, listen, that's harmful. You have to make a decision, because the way that our voting works, like the two-party system, is a joke. You have to pick a side. The independent party never has a chance. So you have to pick a side. And we got into a huge argument about it. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this. This is my last straw. Again, I'm a very liberal woman. I have to date someone that is on the same page as me, because I can't disagree with someone on something that is so important to me for the rest of my life. I fully respect Republicans. I understand that you want to vote that way, but for me, I don't want to marry you and I don't want to date you. So we ended it. And no regrets. I've been single ever since. It was awesome. It's been awesome.
It's been awesome, yet here you are making videos about it on your floor, posting it online, kind of coming across as really unhinged. Has it really been all that awesome if this is what you're doing on your free time? At the end of the day, you're not always gonna agree with everybody on every single thing, whether that's in friendships or relationships, and that's okay. That's how you expand your worldview and learn new perspectives and whatnot. But it seems like a lot of these types of people just want to be in echo chambers and surround themselves with other people 24/7 who think exactly like them. But that's only gonna lead you to being very narrow-minded and completely sabotaging friendships and relationships that otherwise would have been fine.
I could tell he was going to vote against me. Let's just say it like that.
Like I said earlier, it seems like she's just looking for some guy to just agree with her on everything. But the thing is, that kind of behavior from a guy to mindlessly agree with you all the time like a doormat is inherently unattractive to most women.
And also, like, check your privilege by...
But who knows, maybe to these more unhinged type people, she would actually prefer a more beta type guy like that. I don't know, but anyways, I think that's gonna wrap up today's video. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for some more juicy videos coming soon to the channel, and let me know what your thoughts are on this whole situation. I personally could never see myself ever being with somebody like this, who thinks like this, acts like this, talks like this, but let me know what you think. Leave a comment. Peace.
Abortion rights, female rights,